currently copy editing my 8th novel. It's a lot of editing in one day. Do I love them? I think I'm gonna finish this tomorrow. I shouldn't get too excited. I can't believe I'm almost done with my 8th book. Yay! It's all gonna be okay. Hello and welcome to a new video. Welcome if you're new here. Hi, I'm Andrea. Welcome back if you're one of my lovely returning friends. It is great to have you all here. Welcome to Wednesday. Welcome to Wednesday, July 10th. I am very sleepy. I've been up for a while. I've gone for my walk, I've taken a shower, washed my hair, all of that stuff, and I am trying to get some proper work done before I start watching the Tour de France, because once the tour starts, that's it for my day. Like, I'm doing work on the couch at that point. I'm not really working here at my desk. I just need to plan ahead next year and just know that no work is going to happen in July. Because it just isn't. Anyway, it's been a busy-ish week so far. It's only Wednesday, but Monday and Tuesday were pretty busy. I got a lot of work done on Monday. Yesterday, I had a dentist appointment, so I was over at my parents' house, and it was a good day, but it was a long day. It was a very hot day. It was a lot of time spent in my car, in the heat. Did not sleep well last night, and today I'm just really tired. So this bodes really well for trying to get a lot of copy editing done. But where we're at with the copy editing, for those who are new here, hi again, I'm Andrea. I'm currently copy editing my 8th, I just had to count them on the shelf, my 8th novel. I'm currently copy editing my 8th novel. And yeah, I am up to I'm through chapter 18, so we're starting today with chapter 19. So I have 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and the epilogues. We've got 7 chapters, or 6 chapters and an epilogue. One of the remaining chapters, the last chapter, is over 5,000 words. That one's 5,400 words. But all of the other chapters are 4,600 words or less. I even have a few chapters and the epilogue that are around 2,000 to 3,000 words. So we're not going to finish it today. Originally, I was hoping to finish it by Friday. So today, tomorrow, and Friday. Then I started hoping that maybe I could do it just between today and tomorrow. But now it's 10 o'clock. And I can feel my brain is not quite working. So yeah, now I'm thinking finishing it tomorrow is probably a bit optimistic. But I would really like to finish it tomorrow and then just be able to relax on Friday. So yeah, I'm not sure. We will see. I think originally my plan was, if I'm looking at, I've got my tracker page in my project notebook. I think originally the plan was to do 19 and 20 today, 21, 22, and 23 tomorrow, and 24 in the epilogue on Friday. If I could do, I'd honestly have to do 19 through 22 today and 23 through the epilogue tomorrow. It's a lot of editing in one day. I'm probably just gonna have to finish editing on Friday. And I could do that. That wouldn't be the end of the world. But we'll see. We'll see. It would be so convenient to be able to finish it tomorrow. It really would. You know, I could do 19 through 21 today and do 22 through the epilogue tomorrow. Have a bigger day tomorrow. If I could get an earlier start tomorrow, I could do that. So we'll see. We'll see how well I do. We'll see how well my brain works. We'll see when I feel like I need a break. I'm going to try to get through 2 chapters and then I'll update you all and see how I'm doing. Usually, once I get into it, it feels easier. And also these last few chapters, I've noticed this before as I was doing on previous read-throughs, I really like the last like quarter of the book. I like the whole book, but every time I read through this, I feel like I speed through the last quarter. The pacing is really good, in my opinion, in my humble opinion of my own book. The last quarter, the pacing is really good. I like what's happening. There's other chapters in the book where I've gone back and forth. I could do this or I could do that, or is this right, or could this be stronger? I don't do that on the last quarter. Every previous read through, it just feels like the last quarter just races. And so I'm hoping that will work in my favor and that these will go pretty quick. Pro Writing Aid is flagging a lot of different things. Like for chapter 19, I've got 114 different errors. But usually if all I'm doing is fixing those errors, it goes pretty quick. Also, the pressure to cut stuff is down because of the first 18 chapters, I've already cut 3,632 words. So I'd wanted to cut 3,000 words. So now it's just like, if I can cut words from these last several chapters, cool. If I can't, that's okay too. So I'm hoping that will also make the last bit go by faster. So we're gonna do at least 2 chapters today. That's the minimum. 3 would be great. 4 would be amazing and would set me up to be able to finish tomorrow instead of Friday. So I'm gonna shut up and get to copy editing, and we will just see how this goes. Okay, it's 10:54. I'm doing good on time. It's making me feel really upset that I didn't get started at 9 on this like I'd wanted to, because then I would be perfectly on time. But this is the year of imperfection, so not gonna dwell on that. I have gotten chapters 19 and 20 done. Chapter 21 is 4,200 words. I'm gonna do 21 at least. I don't have to finish tomorrow. I don't have to, but I would like to. I just feel like I could then have Friday to do some cover sketching, and also I think on Friday, like, I can be sitting on the couch with my laptop and just be playing with the book description, playing with the title, and just like doing some brainstorming throughout the afternoon on the title. I do think I'm getting close to the title. If I can look at where do I have got too many tabs open. That's totally how my brain is feeling. But if I look at my title ideas, I do have some options that I'm thinking of. Do I love them? They're growing on me. I feel like whenever it comes to doing titles, and my writing in general, Um, the first thing I put down, I always feel like, that's terrible. So dramatic. The first thing I always write down, the first draft of a book, the first ideas of a book description or book title, I always think, oh, that's horrible, because, you know, your first draft of something couldn't possibly be good. Plus, I feel like this is a holdover of my academic writing training. Like, with academic writing, you're just kind of trained. It's part of academia and part of grad school is just, they train you to think that everything you write is crap. It's just how it is. Everything needs to be edited. Everything needs to be revised. Every idea or argument you're making needs to be, you know, questioned and explained. You know, it's very different writing styles, but that basic mentality of the first draft is never your final draft. I think this is why a lot of writers struggle. And I've dealt with this with my writing clients. I deal with this with my students at the university. There's this idea, I think, and we've talked about this here as well in previous vlogs, but there's this common misconception among, like, people in general, among society, that you don't edit, right? Like, think about when you were in school. And I was the same way when I was a student, especially when I was a baby student, like high school, undergrad. It wasn't until I got into grad school that I started, like, realizing writing is a process. Your first draft is never your final draft. Even when your first draft is actually really good, or even when you're writing a short document where you could do it all in one draft, your first draft is never your final draft. You always proofread an email, or you should be. When it comes to short documents, you're going through so much of the writing process subconsciously in your head. You're not even aware that you're doing it, but you are brainstorming ideas before you start typing. Then you're writing the draft. Then you're, you know, going back and just checking over, am I including everything I want to say? Then you're going through and doing a proofread. And these are 4 or 5 different steps, but you're doing it rapidly in your head without even really thinking about it. And so students often aren't realizing how much of that editing process is part of their writing process. They think of it all as just writing. You know, when they try to tell me, oh, I just write the essay in one draft and then I turn it in. And I'm like, but do you really? Because most of them, when I press them on it, they're like, oh, well, no, I mean, I do go back and read back through it a second time. Like, I don't just write start to finish and then immediately submit it. It's like, okay, so then you are stopping. You're going through that process. You're just doing it all back to back to back without taking a day or even an hour to, like, step away. So there is a process to writing, and it is more than one step. And academic writing teaches you that. Academic writing teaches you to organize your thoughts, outline your essay, write that first draft, go back through and work on different stages. Academic writing taught me that whatever I write for my first draft is not going to be good. It's going to need work. Something better might come along. And so usually that's a good thing. But sometimes, like when it comes to titles, you know, I can put down an idea and think, okay, well, this is really bad because it's my first idea, so this isn't what I'm going to use. And there's a few things that I put down that I remember as I was writing them thinking, this is ridiculous. This cannot be the title of your book. But now I'm like, actually, I kind of like some of these. And there's 4 in particular that I have bolded, and they're all essentially the same thing, just the words are in different orders. And so now it's just like, well, which order do I like? Because overall, I think I kind of like those options. Like, they are growing on me. I'm gonna put stars next to the ones I'm liking. So I do think that if I could finish the copy editing tomorrow, then it would be really good, because I could then take Friday to kind of work on, just like sit on the couch, relax all afternoon while I'm watching the Tour de France, and just kind of work in my book notes and ideas file on the description, the title, all of that stuff. And then next week, because if I can finish it this week, I'm finishing it a whole week earlier than I intended. So next week I could spend part or all of next week really focusing on the book cover and making a big push on that. I haven't been working on the cover as much as I wanted to. And I think once I really get going, I've got a rough sketch. I now need a more polished rough sketch, and then I'll start working on the like good line sketch. But I just think I need time to like just focus on that. I'm just realizing at the moment, my brain is not splitting very well. It's not splitting between multiple tasks or multiple projects very well. But yeah, anyway, that's where we're at. I'm gonna get back to editing. I've been talking to you guys, so it's now 11:09. I'm gonna just do this one next chapter. I'm not gonna try to do 2 more chapters. I'm just gonna do 1 more chapter, and then that will leave 3 chapters in the epilogue for tomorrow. So 3 chapters today, 4 chapters / epilogue tomorrow, and that should be good. I think word count wise, it kind of is somewhat equal word counts between the 2 days. So yeah, I think I'm gonna finish this tomorrow. I shouldn't get too excited, but I'm gonna do 1 more chapter today, and that will put me in a good position to finish this tomorrow. One more chapter done. I'm getting so close. I'm getting so close. I could finish it today if I just wanted to spend the next few hours working on this, but that would be too much. And I am getting the sum of, like, I love the ending. I love the last couple chapters. I just love how everything in the story comes together. And so we're coming to my favorite chapters, or some of my favorite chapters. I don't want to feel like I'm rushing through those. That really is always the struggle with copy editing. Like, you know, writing is fun because it's writing, and writing is my favorite part of this whole process. I enjoy editing. I enjoy editing other people's work more than I enjoy editing my own work. So like working on my mom's book, I'm really looking forward to. Like, I really want to like make time for that. I've been so focused on my own book, but I do love reading and editing other people's work. Editing other people's books is way easier than editing my own. Because as an editor, you're not fixing their problems. You're telling them this isn't working, and then it's up to the writer to fix it. So editing my own books is a bit of a challenge because I can find the problems, but then I also am the one who has to fix them. So I can't just say, okay, well, yay, they get to deal with it. So yeah, I do enjoy editing. And so like, there's the writing process, which I enjoy, and because I love writing, and then I get to edit, and developmental editing is fun because it still feels a bit like writing. You're still like rewriting things and restructuring things, and you're adding bits here and there. And so I like developmental editing. Copy editing, because I do kind of a combined copy edit and line edit, like copy editing, I still am I'm learning to enjoy it more. I'm learning to not make it feel so pressurized in my head. But this really is the last time that I get to feel like I'm writing. This is the last chance to change things. After this, that's kind of it. The book, the manuscript, the story is locked in. Because when I'm proofreading, that is just looking for all the final little errors that have slipped through the net on previous passes. But I'm not rewriting sentences, I'm not rewriting paragraphs, I'm not changing anything. I'm just looking for little errors and mistakes. And when I'm copy editing, I'm also at this stage, like I wouldn't go and like completely rewrite half of a chapter or something extensive like that. But if I got an idea and I really, really, really wanted to change something, I could. And even when I'm proofreading, even after I've published something, like this is the bonus of being an indie author, is even with my books that are published, I could go in and change the book interiors and re-upload a new file and no one would know. There's always that option, but my general rule has been once a book is published, I don't mess with it. At some point probably at some point, I just don't know when, I do want to unpublish everything from Amazon, republish as second editions with my own ISBNs, and publish everything wide. I can change things, like technically I can change things because I'm an indie author. I have control. I don't have a publisher who controls my final files. But my general rule is I don't change anything. Like I don't go in and change my back matter. I don't update links. Like right now there's no other book being marketed at the end of A Brave Start, because when I first published that book, there were no next books yet. Brave with You only references A Brave Start. More Than Fate, I think I have something at the end of More Than Fate for my Across the Pond series. Whereas you look at the most recent book that's come out, Candle Shop of Wicks and Whimsy, and that has little blurbs for all the previous books. So like I don't even go back in to update my back matter. I should. All the advice says you're supposed to, but I don't. So because I don't go back and update my books, whenever I'm working on a book, it always feels like when I get to the copy editing and proofreading stage, like this is my last time that I will be working on this story. After copy editing, that's it. Celeste's story is what it is. This is my last chance to change anything. This is my last chance to like really be working in this, because proofreading is purely just about corrections and just fixing any remaining mistakes. It feels a lot more logistical than creative. Copy editing still is a bit creative because I'm still looking, and because I'm doing a line edit as well. Part of copy editing is, part of this phase, copy edit and line edit, is questioning, like, is this sentence really as strong as it could be? Could I phrase this in a stronger way? So there's still a little bit of creative problem solving that happens in the copy editing stage. But after this, it's all logistics. It's all final technicalities. It's the formatting, it's the proofreading, it's the cover. Which, like, the cover, that's still very creative, but it just starts to feel like it's all more about the product and marketing and getting it ready to be a physical product to sell, or a digital product in terms of the Kindle copy. So I don't want to rush finishing this. So going all the way back to how I started this segment, I could probably finish it all today if I really, really wanted to. But while I would love to finish tomorrow, I don't need to finish any earlier than that. I don't want to rush. I don't want today to go by in a blur of copy editing several chapters in a row. I want to break it up at least a little bit, but I've made a lot of progress. I do think I can finish this tomorrow, and that will feel really, really good. And I'm enjoying these last few chapters, are going to be really fun to read. I can't believe I'm almost done with my 8th book. Like, I'm almost done copy editing it, but I'm also almost done with my 8th book. I'm having to look at all the books. I always keep my proof copies up here, so I can always look up and see how far I've come. I've got my other copies are all over on this shelf here. I've got multiple copies of each book, but I keep my proof copies right here in front of me. And I keep having to like stop and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But this is my 8th book. Can't believe it. But it is definitely time. It's nearly noon. I want to go sit down and rest. I need to eat lunch. I want to put on the Tour de France and just sit and like do nothing for a little while. I'm so tired, but keep watching because thanks to the magic of video editing, we're gonna roll straight into tomorrow's editing session. Okay, it's the next day and I have just finished 2 of the last 4 chapters. All that's left, because I'm not excited, all that's left is chapter 24 and the epilogue. So I have about, between the 2, that's about 7,700 words. Chapter 24 is over 5,000 words, and then the epilogue is just over 2,000 words. So the epilogue will be really quick. It's going to be chapter 24 that's going to be the longest. But I love the tail end of chapter 23 going into chapter 24 and then the beginning of chapter 24. I don't know if other people will find this moment as satisfying as I do, but yeah, it makes me smile every time I read it. So it's going well. Copy editing is going well. Finishing this up is going well. I can't believe I'm going to finish it today. It's 10:34. I got a slightly later start than I had wanted again, but I think other than the time I take to talk to you all, I don't think it's going to take me more than an hour to do this last bit. Maybe a little bit more than an hour. I will definitely, knock on wood, I will definitely be done with it by noon. I can't believe I'm almost done. I know I was talking about that yesterday, earlier in this vlog, but it's just weird because I've been working on this one for a while. I started writing it, then I put it on hold for a bit because I was working on finishing up The Candle Shop of Wicks and Whimsy. Then I picked it back up, but then I feel like editing it took a little bit longer. And then there was the break because of going to England. And so it does feel like I've been working on this one for, it's been over a year, I think, when I was looking at the dates in Scrivener. I'd have to go back and like see when I started, when I can actually look at that now without it being open. When did I create the project? ATP4 created. Ooh, I have been working on this for a while. Created Friday, July 1st, 2022. So just over 2 years. Now I wouldn't have been working on it full time during all of that. Outline was completed November 8th of 2022. And then the first draft was completed March 19th of 2023. I need to like put all these dates in a chart. I need to do that like for all the other books too, like create a table or a spreadsheet of each series, each book in the series, when it was started, when the outline was done, when the first draft was done, and the other drafts that I have copies of with date stamps on them, and then like when it was published, because I think that would be really interesting data to see how long, because each book has taken me, some books take me less time, some books take me more time. It really depends on what is happening in my life. Like, A Brave Start took several years to write, but then was published in like less than a year, or about a year. And then Brave with You and More Than Fate both got published the next, or no, Brave with You got published 1 year later, and then More Than Fate and Bookshop got published in the same year. So I did 2 books that year. And then Brave Together came very early the next year. I think I'd wanted to have Brave Together come out the same year as More Than Fate or something like that, but it got delayed. So and then lately I've been averaging like 1 book a year. So from The Inn of Hopes and Dreams to Candle Shop was only a year. And now from Candle Shop to Across the Pond 4, when this finally comes out, will be less than a year, because Candle Shop came out in November. Never releasing a book in November ever again. I know they say never, but I feel pretty confident with that. As long as I'm teaching. So I guess I shouldn't say never do it in November again. But as long as I'm teaching, I will never publish a book in November or April. I think November and April are like 2 just blackout months. And probably December because of Christmas. Like, those are just months that would just be a very, very, very bad idea for me to publish a book. Just wouldn't work. So yeah, that came out in November, and then this will come out August. No, I think we said September. August if I can, but the beginning of September is still like my realistic deadline. If I can get it out earlier, I will, because I just want it out. I just want this out. I want it off my plate. Although I was thinking, as I was editing the last chapter, that there is part of me that isn't, part of the reason I'm not ready to let go of this book is because I'm not ready to leave London. I think because I just had my trip to England, and I just want to hold on to England and London and being in the across the pond world. Like, I'm not quite ready to go back to Olsenburg, and that's where I will be going next, book-wise. And like, that book is already outlined. I've already written the first 2 chapters and a bit. Like, I need to go back to Olsenburg, and I know a lot of you are waiting for me to go back to Olsenburg. I know my beta readers, my alpha and beta readers, are ready for me to go back to Olsenburg. 2 of my alpha / beta readers are massive Independent Hearts fans. I think it's their favorite series, and they get extra excited. They get very excited about the Across the Pond books. It's not that they don't like the Across the Pond books, but they get extra excited when I tell them that I'm about to deliver a new Independent Hearts draft. So I know they're ready for me to get back to that, but I want to write another book in London. Actually, I really want to write a book set in York, and I don't have a series where I can do that. And I don't need another series idea or another book idea. Like, I've already got the next few. I've got 2 more that haven't been published, Independent Hearts books, books 4 and 5 for sure of Independent Hearts, before I would even think about stepping away for a moment and putting that series on pause. And then I have 3 more Across the Pond books that I have pretty solid ideas for. Like, I know the main character. Across the Pond 5 and 6 for sure. Also have an idea for 7 that I would really love to do, Across the Pond 7. And I do have an idea for Across the Pond 8, if we get that far. But like, I'm now doing 1 book a year, pretty much. So that means this will be 2024. Independent Hearts 4 would be 2025. Across the Pond 5 would be 2026. Independent Hearts 5 would be 2027. And then Across the Pond 7, 8, 7 and 8. 6 and 7? 6 and 7. Something like we're almost to like 2030. If I'm and this is like, I need to stop, but like this is why I sometimes get really stressed about books and writing, and why I get really anxious about like being behind schedule and wanting to publish faster, because like that's just from these 2 series that I could be like writing out to like 2030. Then you've got Project Darkness that I really want to do, and then you have the Real Romance series. I know some of you have been following me for a while are like, whatever happened to Real Romance 1? Yeah, I know. And I really want to get back to that series as well. So when I first started doing self-publishing, being an indie author, when I first started getting into this, I thought I would be doing 4 books a year. And so I came up with multiple series, because I figured if I had like 3 or 4 series and was publishing 3 or 4 books a year, I'd have 1 book per series per year that I was publishing. Now the thought of publishing 4 books in a year, I could write 4 books in a year. But yeah, when I first started and like was publishing A Brave Start and Brave With You and More Than Fate, like the year that Brave With You, More Than Fate, and Bookshop all came out within about a 12-month. They were different years they came out, 2020 and 2021. But those 3 books all came out roughly, I think, within a 12-month time span. I think Brave With You was out at the beginning of December of 2020, because it was about a year after A Brave Start. And then More Than Fate was in like May of 2021, and then Bookshop was in September, I think, of 2021. And then Brave Together was out by April of 2022. So Brave With You, More Than Fate, and Bookshop all came out within less than 12 months. And Brave With You, More Than Fate, Bookshop, and Brave Together, those 4 books were all out within about 16 months. But that was also the beginning, like the first 2 years of the pandemic. And More Than Fate and Bookshop, I was still teaching remotely here at home, so I wasn't commuting to campus. My job was 100% here at home, and it just gave me more time. And I also feel like I needed the escape of writing more during that time. Whereas the last few years, I've been getting out more, I've been going hiking, I've been meeting up with friends a bit more, I've been back at work, normal schedules, and so then also a little bit more tired by the time I get home. And so yeah, I'm not able to write and publish as fast. But then I start thinking of all the books that I know about, that like I'm actively working on, that are in one stage of a draft or another, or are part of the existing series, and I know I've got these next books mapped out. Start thinking about those, and I just start to panic a little bit, because it's like, I don't have, like, where's the time? Because like by 2030, I'd love to be doing a bunch of different stuff writing wise. Like I've got so many ideas that I haven't started outlining or thinking about, or aren't part of an existing series. And yeah, like I want to work on them all now. I don't want to wait until 2040 or 2050. I don't want to wait until I'm 50, 60, 70 years old to write these. But I'm an adult in the real world with real responsibilities. I have a job, I have rent to pay. I can't just spend all of my time writing. So yeah. Do other writers feel this? I feel like some people love writing, but like there's a YouTuber I follow, and she's been working on the same book, and only that book, for 2 years. Like this book has taken me 2 years, but I've been working on and publishing other books while I've been working on this one. And so I just can't imagine working for multiple years just on one project, because I have too many other ideas I want to work on. So I'd like to know, are you one of those writers who just has maybe a few book ideas in your head, and so you're happy to take years to work on each one? Or are you like me and you've got dozens of ideas in your head and you feel the pressure to get them all written before you die? Because like, it makes me really sad knowing that some of these stories in my head are never going to get written down before I die. And that's even assuming I'm going to live to a really old age, like I hope I do. Because every time I publish something, 5 more ideas have popped into my head. But yeah, we're almost done copy editing this book, and that's wild. And part of me is totally procrastinating because I don't want to finish. But given what we've just been talking about, I clearly need to finish so I can move on to the next stage, get this book published, and move on to the next book. Okay. Copy editing is done. I can't believe it. Like, I honestly can't believe it. And so let me go over my checklist so we can cross some things out. So I can cross off start copy editing, because I definitely started it. I can cross off that my goal was to try to cut at least 3,000 words from the manuscript, because I've done that. I'm so happy. I have managed to cut 3,720 words from the manuscript. So that makes me very excited. Actually, I think it's slightly different than that, because then I had to do some last minute adjustments. So let me redo the math. 3,739 words. I need to write that down. Yay! It's the final manuscript is going to end up going back up over 310, because this is just the manuscript. It doesn't include the dedication, the author's note, bio, all the other stuff that goes at the front and the back of the book. But all I care about is that the story itself is under 110. Barely, but technically it's under 110. So I can also cross off finish copy editing, because the copy editing is done. Which means I can also cross off the main task of copy edit with pro writing aid. So next is finalize the book data. So I think that's what I'm going to spend a good chunk of tomorrow and maybe even part of Monday and Tuesday doing. And then I'll also be working on the cover. And then hopefully by like Tuesday, Wednesday, I can format the paperback in vellum, format the paperback and the Kindle. So I need to figure out the title and stuff, but I can be writing the author's notes and the acknowledgements and doing those things while I'm figuring out the title. I need to send my few title ideas to my alpha and beta readers to get their feedback on that. But yeah, I can't believe it's done. It's 12:18, so I managed to finish around noon. I've been tinkering with some things, and I wanted to get Scrivener opened up, double check the word counts in Scrivener. Everything looks good. I also like to look at a few of the chapters where I know I made a big change, just to make sure that change went through and everything looks good. And then I compiled the current version. So this is now the 4th draft. So I've compiled that and created a Word doc. Let me email that to myself just to be safe. Yeah, so, oh my gosh. There's still a million things to do, but finishing the copy editing is one big check mark. It really does make a massive difference getting that done. So like, there's little things within, little tasks within the big tasks. So if I'm thinking of all the little tasks, it's a lot. But as far as the big tasks go, it's really just finish finalizing the book data, which is a ton of little things in that task, but we're not going to think about that. So finish book data, format the book, proofread the book, finish the cover. And then once those 4 things are done, then it's uploading the book. It's all gonna be okay. But I did finish this 1 week and 1 day earlier than planned. I'd originally thought I'd get it done by the 19th. It is the 11th. So I don't work on the weekends. So I wasn't planning on working the 13th or 14th. But originally I thought I would do some copy editing tomorrow and then Monday through Friday of next week. And now I have tomorrow and Monday through Friday of next week to focus on the book data and making some big progress on the cover. I think if I can get a big push done on the cover next week, then proofreading while I'm finishing up the cover will be a little bit better. I think one thing that's been holding me back from working on the cover was feeling like I still don't have a title and I still don't have my book description finalized. I think I need to take tomorrow to really just focus on getting the book data finalized, and then I really have no excuses. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I really can't wait for you all to read this book. You know, those of you who want to. But quite a few of you have been buying books 1 through 3 of Across the Pond, which, again, just thank you. I don't thank you enough. But like, I literally wish, like, when I sell a book on Amazon, I just see the sale pop up. I don't know who has bought one unless you tell me. Like, one of you very kindly messaged me on, or posted a comment on Facebook saying that you'd bought all 3 copies of the Independent Heart series, which also made me so happy. But like, I really would totally send each of you a handwritten thank you note for every copy I sold if I got that information from Amazon, but I don't. So if you have bought a book this month or last month, June or July, I have had more sales than I've had in the last several months. Not enough to run away to London, but not enough to, you know, move to England yet, but we're working on it. Clearly several of you took me seriously. And I just want to reiterate, if I haven't, at this point with YouTube and with the books, I don't make a ton of money. I think I've been pretty honest and upfront about that. I don't like specifying exactly how much I'm making, but like, it's not a life-changing amount. It's not a career-changing amount. But there are some months where it is better than others. Last month was and the month before was a very good month for YouTube because of all the England vlogs and all the support you all were showing for the England vlogs. And I do want you to know that while moving to England is the long-term goal, every penny I make from my books and from YouTube, I am setting aside in the savings to put towards my next trip. So obviously I have to take some out to factor in, you know, business expenses and things like that. But like, that is what I'm saving for. And that is something that I think a lot of you would really enjoy and benefit from because you really enjoyed the England vlogs. So like, if you want those to come back next summer, then keep watching the vlogs, give them a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not subscribed, leave comments. Any kind of engagement shows YouTube that these videos are worth sharing to other people. Sharing the video yourself. I noticed that I had like 39 shares last month, and I don't normally see how many shares I get, and I don't see who shares what, but every time you click the share button down below, which, if I'm looking at it, lets you share it to different social media platforms or have a link that you can copy and paste into something else. Every share means the world to me. If you know someone who watches YouTube and you think they would like my channel, that is a huge help. So every view, every like, every comment, every share, every subscribe, every book that you buy, every time you share one of my books on your socials to help someone else find them, that all helps on the revenue end of things. And I always feel really weird talking about revenue and money and stuff, but this is my little just reminder plea. My little plea / reminder. The support that you give this channel in those ways is not lost on me, and I am more than happy to put the financial reward of that support towards something that you all can kind of benefit as well, in the form of being able to like go back to England and do more vlogs and have more content like that. So yeah, that's just wanted to slip that in a little bit here at the end. I have noticed more sales. It does mean the absolute world to me, and there are big dreams I'm working towards, but there are also smaller dreams and goals, like just going back to England next summer to hang out with Tamsin and Leeds and vlogging all of that. Like that's a huge thing I'm saving up for right now, and I again don't assume that that's happening for sure. There's still a lot that could happen that would mean that it doesn't happen next summer. So like, let's not any of us get our hopes up too high just yet. But I work really, really hard on these vlogs and on these books. I work so hard on these books, and I probably put too much pressure on myself for these books. But I want that I'm not articulating this very well. What I publish, I want it to be good, and I want you all to enjoy it. And yeah, I just can't believe that another one is almost done. And within the next few months, for sure, you will be able to read this one. So if you have bought the first 3 and have been reading those, thank you. Again, you don't have to read them in order, but you do have time. So if you wanted to get the first 3 books and read them before the 4th one comes out, that would be really cool, and I would really appreciate that. Links are all in the description box below. But yeah, I think that's it. I feel like I've talked enough in this vlog, talked so much about writing in this vlog, so I hope you've enjoyed it. This has been a really big writing book vlog, and we've made tons of progress. So this step is done, and now we get to move on to the next step, and I will try to vlog that. I mean, you're gonna see the next steps. Although there's not much I can show you about the cover, but I think I want to try to vlog the cover process separately and put that up once I'm ready for a cover reveal. So we'll see if I can be that organized. But yeah, anyway, I've been rambling for way too long in this vlog. But I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. I would really appreciate both of those things. Say hi in the comments. Let me know how you're doing. Leave me a pencil or check mark emoji in honor of finishing the copy editing, and give me a project update. It's July, but like I'm really not doing my whole like creative, cozy, relaxed creativity thing. I thought we would do it again in July like we did in August or like we did in April, but I have not been that organized. I've been very focused on this. But what have you been working on creatively? Not just writing, but if you're working on some other creative project, what have you been doing? How is your creative work going this month? I would really like to know, so that can be our question of the vlog. And yeah, I'm gonna go get on with the rest of my Thursday, and I will see you all very soon in the next vlog. Thank you very much for watching this one. Bye!